I declare open this congregation of the University of Sussex. I'm delighted, as Chancellor, to welcome you formally to this graduation ceremony. The warmest of welcomes to our honoured guests, our distinguished faculty members, and to those of the professional services here at Sussex. But the warmest of welcomes are for you, our graduands, and your families and friends who join you here today. And also to friends and family who couldn't be here with you today and are watching on live stream around the world. To you I say, bonjour. Willkommen. Comme stai? Hola, dobry den. Privyet. Marhaba, salam alaikum. Jambo, shalom. Namaskar, ni hao. Konnichiwa. Oi, hey, hi, howdy. And hello. And a massive thank you to the ITS technical team for making that live stream possible. It is a profound honour for us that you chose Sussex as your place of study. And as I've just illustrated, graduands from all over the world will be receiving their degrees at these ceremonies. To our foreign students, I'd like to say thank you for playing your part in making us a global university. I know how hard it can be to travel so far at such expense and to try and get to grips with a different culture, language, and sometimes a different set of values or modes of behavior. And to overcome those hurdles, unfamiliarity, homesickness, to remain focused and resolute. You've been a credit to the university, your families, and your countries. To our homegrown graduands, thank you for confounding the sometimes taken view in wider society about the contribution of young people through education. I still occasionally hear that university is an excuse for young people to drink, carouse for a few years, and delay the moment that real life takes over. This lazy view precludes the fact that many of you have had to persevere through your own personal difficulties, struggling to balance your studies with home life, in some cases whilst raising children, experiencing loss and sickness, trying to survive on overdrafts, loans, and family help. I'm not a shining example of academic prowess. I struggled through most of my education and through my degree as well, so I hope I have perhaps a little empathy with what some of you may have gone through. In fact, one of my dad's friends, when I said I wanted to get a degree and go to university, he said, why you want to go to university, eh? You want to waste your time growing your hair long and listening to Mozart? I said, yeah, perhaps if I was thinking of going to university in the 18th century. But I didn't give up, and neither did you. Today marks a watershed in your life so far. The volume marked the academic years. Some of you will be going on to further academic study, but for the majority, the conclusion of this ceremony will bring a close to your formal education. A story that began all those years ago on that first day of nursery or kindergarten, as you cried with confusion as your parents abandoned you, and then they pretended to look upset and went home and had a party. Through all those years of early school where you brought home your art, splodges of misshapen paint with bits of glitter and cotton wool that your family treated like it was a Jackson Pollock and stuck it on the kitchen wall. And over the years, you continued to bring home these pastel abominations, and it's safe to say that your families treated all of them as a load of Pollocks. Then came the joy of the teenage years, growing bones, hormones, sarcastic tones, mobile phones, and then the pressure of all those exams that would determine your future, partying too hard, drinking too much, not enough sleep, relationships, rejection, confusion, and then came Sussex. Gentle study, juice bars, chess clubs, knitting, and the occasional ice cream on the beach. And through all of this, your family and friends have been there all the way, rooting for you, supporting you, perhaps sacrificing for you in ways that you may or may not be aware of. And I know are bursting with pride at your achievements today. So graduands and lecturers, a round of applause for the families and friends. You're probably thinking, yeah, just get on with it, will you? All we want to do is get across the stage without losing our mortarboards or tripping over our gowns and landing on someone's lap in the front row. What a choice of laps you have today. By the way, all those capes and gowns, it's like the Avengers, age of retirement. And finally, on a technical note, I don't really care whether you've been up here before, how old you are, how brainy brilliant you are, or anything. You haven't actually got your degrees yet. You are graduands. And you getting one may just depend on how much love you show me when you come up here. No love, no degree. Feel free to express who you are, how you feel as you come across this stage, within the bounds of legality and taste, obviously. And families and friends, this lovely day is a glorious opportunity to really embarrass your loved ones as they come up here. So when the time comes, please do have your cameras ready and feel free to make as much noise. That's a good start from a person. But I know there are people here. It really is. So let them know where you are and how you feel. They embarrassed you enough times when they were growing up. It's just payback time. So feel free to make some noise as your superhero crosses the stage. If any of you are here on your own today without family or friends, I'm your family or friend. Okay, so you're not alone. I call upon the Vice-Chancellor to address the congregation.
Chancellor, Madam Mayor, graduands, Avengers, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Chancellor's supposed to have warmed you up a bit. Good morning. Good morning. It's a real pleasure to add my welcome to all of you to this graduation ceremony. Graduation is one of the highlights of the academic year, and it's a time when we on stage and family and friends in the auditorium can truly celebrate on your success. Although graduation has its formal aspects, you may have noticed we made a bit of an effort and dressed up for the occasion. As the Chancellor has indicated, it's a time to relax and have fun. You can let the emotions flow and do pretty much whatever you like. But as he said, providing it's legal. So for a special day, we're in a special place, the Brighton Dome. This historic building, conceived by King George IV, started life as the Royal Stables and Riding House. It's been a hospital and an operating theatre during 2 world wars, hosted the Eurovision Song Contest in 1974, which was won by ABBA with their song Waterloo, and has seen many famous visitors, including one of our own former Prime Ministers, Winston Churchill. Amongst our graduands here today, I'm absolutely certain that there are many who will also go on to do even greater things than previous visitors to this space. Sussex has always celebrated the diversity of its students and staff. During the graduation ceremonies this week, we will meet students from 158 different countries, with ages ranging from 19 to 65 years. Education is for everyone at any age. There were just 52 students when Sussex opened in 1961. Now we have almost 14,000 students. Over the week, there will be about 3,000 undergraduates walking across this stage, just shy of 600 postgraduate students, and about 9,000 family and friends supporting them. Today is a special day for many reasons, and one which personally means a great deal to me, and is a significant one for the university, as 1,200 of our undergraduates are first-generation scholars. This means they are the first member of their family to go to university. I'm very proud of the university's commitment to recruiting and providing additional financial and pastoral support to these students. We were disturbed by the announcement last week of the loss of the non-repayable maintenance grants that were aimed to support this group of students, and will continue to make the case for the special needs of such students. In response, Sussex will be providing some additional financial support for those in the lowest income group. Now, I want to spend just a few minutes talking to you about 4 aspects of Sussex life which I know our graduating students will go on to do great things. Firstly, we can be absolutely certain that our graduates have excellent prospects. They're highly employable and have a very rounded view of life. We know that leaving university and finding a job can be a challenging time for graduates. However, we're extremely pleased that Sussex is ranked 4th in the UK for employability. A recent study has found that 96% of Sussex graduates are in work or further study within 6 months of graduating. This suggests that not only do we attract outstanding students, but that a Sussex experience provides a good start to their working life. We do go that extra mile to help our students have a fulfilling time at university. We believe that experiences outside the main area of study, including gaining competence in 1 or more foreign languages, are important for broader personal development that employers are seeking. Our internship program is developing well, and we keep adding to this year on year, with our latest being a fully supported placement scheme in China. I hope that some of you have taken up the opportunity to complete an internship, whether it's here in the UK or abroad. The university also offers an outstanding range of master's scholarships for those that are thinking of postgraduate studies, and we've already awarded twice the number of Sussex graduate scholarships that we awarded last year. This is really good for our graduates wishing to continue in further study at a time when we know that financial pressures are high. Interdisciplinarity, that is, teaching and research that crosses standard disciplinary boundaries, was one of the founding principles of Sussex back in the 60s. This broad-ranging and rounded view of life is very much part of the Sussex tradition. We pride ourselves in the way in which we have built many interdisciplinary centres of expertise, whether that's in climate change, global health, or neuroscience. In addition, we encourage our students to take courses which combine their core subject with other, often unrelated subjects. Our focus is a holistic one. We also promote this principle as we develop new spaces, such as the Attenborough Centre for Creative Arts, which I believe will fast become the heartbeat of the campus and a place where our students to study and socialise. Secondly, we should always remember that Sussex students and staff have a history of changing things for the better. Sussex has an outstanding reputation for world-leading research, and many of you here today have contributed to this. We are making a difference to people's lives, whether this is in policy in developing countries or digitising history. 98% of our research is ranked as world-leading. It is increasingly important for us to be able to show that our research has impact beyond academia by showing that we're making a real difference to people's lives and to society in general. Thirdly, I'm proud of our international perspective. It makes the Sussex experience special. We've had an international outlook since the university started more than 50 years ago. Around 25% of our current students are from overseas, and teaching and research staff come to us from 120 different countries. All of you have helped create this diverse global community on campus, which I hope has added positively to your experience at Sussex. Sussex has a reputation for a place where people from all over the world can make friends easily. Last year, the university teamed up with the Students' Union to host One World Week, a celebration of international diversity and a way to promote understanding of global issues. It was such a success that we've committed to making it an annual event. We've created partnerships with some distinguished institutions across the world, including universities in North America, Europe, Asia, and Africa. These relationships have facilitated new research collaborations and new opportunities for student exchange and joint teaching programs. And finally, I would say that although we think globally, we also act locally. And our village-like campus has created a very special community at the university. The university contributes about £500 million each year to the Brighton and Hove economy, and this will continue to increase as the university grows in coming years. This is not just because the university is the second biggest employer in the region, but because of you, our students who live, work, and socialise in the area. But it's the personal contribution that our students make that I'm most proud of. I know that many of you do volunteer work in the local community. In fact, you do far more than the average citizen. Some of you tutor school children, particularly the disadvantaged, and others of you are just good neighbours or work hard at part-time jobs. So for family and friends that are here with you, I know they will be extremely proud to share this moment. I want to give special thanks to all of those important people who have supported you during your years of study. As you look back at your time at Sussex and university life, I hope that you will have many fond memories and a real sense of what you can achieve in the world. Education is no longer a privilege for the very few. It has become a fundamental right for the many, and I hope soon for all. It can help inspire intellectual curiosity and provide us with the foundation to achieve great things at work, at home, and for our communities and society in general. It allows us to consider big issues from different perspectives and to challenge them. It introduces us to new concepts, new people, and new ways of thinking. What is critical for us is to listen to what our students say about their time at the university. So we've put together a short film in which you, our students, reflect on their Sussex experience, consider the future, and send a farewell message.
Overwhelmed and excited.
Felt very, very anxious.
I remember crying.
Confident.
A bit homesick.
I was excited.
Curious.
On my very first day of university, when my mum and dad drove away, it was the most scary and daunting thing probably, yeah.
Hungover.
Tired.
A little bit more comfortable.
Slightly more at ease.
I was starting to feel at home.
I was ready to get to work.
So on my second day of university, I felt like I could do anything.
Most likely Farmer Bar.
East Slope Bar.
Pevensey because it's full of maths people.
Probably the co-op.
All the green space outside.
Room 5C11, because I've spent hundreds of hours studying there.
More fun than I expected.
Very enjoyable.
Fulfilling.
Challenging.
Thorough.
Hands-on. Supportive.
High quality.
Hard work. The staff always have time for you.
How to cook.
Learning to do my laundry.
Be more self-confident.
Well, just do everything you can today and don't leave it for tomorrow.
No one's going to motivate you other than you.
The biggest life lesson I've learned since coming to university is you don't know everything when you're 18.
I got a first-generation scholarship which helped me secure an internship.
Working with leading researchers over the summer.
Giving me a degree.
The importance of having really good friends.
It's given me a lot of self-confidence so I can get out there and meet new people.
Excited.
Nostalgic.
Apprehensive. I'm scared that I might fall over on stage. Sad but reflective.
Excited I got to conquer law.
Proud.
Proud to be the smartest dressed I've ever been whilst at Sussex.
I'm going to be teaching maths.
Marine biology abroad.
I've got a place on a graduate scheme at HM Revenue and Customs.
I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it.
I want to be a barrister, so I'm going on to study the BPTC.
I found out today that I got the graduate job that I wanted.
Maybe marriage.
Always been poor.
Student landlords.
Dirty kitchens.
Don't use the vending machines in Silverstone, they will steal your change.
Assignments.
Exams.
No, I'm gonna miss everything.
Getting to know myself better.
Handing in my final year project.
Being chair rep of life sciences.
Tying in Holy 2015 with One World Week.
Graduating.
Well done.
Good luck for the future.
Well done for getting through and good luck for everything in the future.
Congratulations to everybody who's graduating this year.
I want to say congratulations to all of us. We finally did it.
Well done for all the hard work.
Well done and congratulations.
It was lovely to meet you all, and I hope we stay in contact.
Well done, guys. We did it.
And special thanks to our communications team that put that film together. So as you continue to make your way in the world and carve out your own path, I hope Sussex will always have a part in your consciousness. And just as Sussex stands for authentic and spirited thinking, I hope that you will take some of this philosophy and become successful in whichever way you choose. Please remember that you'll always be part of the Sussex family. You will, of course, be joining an illustrious group of alumni, many of whom have made major contribution to the worlds of politics, government, academia, the creative industries, business, international development, and so on. You name it, and you'll find Sussex graduates worldwide changing lives and making an impact. Our alumni relations team will make sure we stay in contact wherever you might be in the future. At the founding of the university, our first Vice-Chancellor, John Fulton, said that education at Sussex was making the future. This is an ambition which we still hold close to our hearts and encourage you to do the same. Make the future for yourselves and your family. Help make the future for our world. Now is the time to be confident, to be brave, and to be open to the endless possibilities that life has to offer. I wish all of you every good fortune for your chosen futures and hope that your experience at Sussex has gone some way to prepare you for the next stage of your life. My very best wishes to you all. I call upon the head of the School of Global Studies, Professor Andrea Cornwall.
Chancellor, I will now present to you for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Anthropology, Aisha Anwar. Sally Batchelor. Stephen Berryman. Sandy Bonington. Olivia Broomfield. Rose Cowley. Matthew Cowling. Katja Detage. Kirill Edlin. Kate Evans. Thomas Gaskin. Augusto Gabassi. Rosalind Goodship. Tallulah Hall. Rebecca Horrobin. Megan Hughes. Yu Hung. Annabelle Inman. Grace Lane. Florence Lunt. Nikki Morton Devine. Alice Paynes. Rosamond Portus. Ellie Sanders Wright. Francesca Siri. Patrick Smith. Rose Thompson. Fiona Tibble. Helen Todd. Jack Watson. Also awarded the prize for the highest academic achievement in anthropology, completing in 2015, and the prize for the highest final year dissertation, Sophie Wolfson. For anthropology and cultural studies, Floriana Gennari. Serena Gritti. Jessica O'Donoghue. For anthropology and history, Fiona Ernst. For anthropology and international development, Tallulah Cox. Well done. Georgina Crawshaw. Livio Dinage. Natasha Fell. Julian Melamede. Katrina Reid. Claire Salem. For Anthropology and Languages, French and Spanish, Petra Peusa. For Anthropology and Spanish, Amy Colville. Rhys Lewis. For Economics and International Development, Jennifer Davies. Sophia Howard. Rebecca Whale. For Economics and International Relations, Lavanya Nambiar. For Geography, Harold Abel. Juliet Amoruso. Also awarded the BA Geography Prize, Thesis Prize, for the Best Undergraduate Thesis, demonstrating excellence in the field of individual and original empirical research in human geography, Emma Bishop. Well done. Sarah Bolton. Alice Bouchier. Connor Bowell. Holly Brazier Tope. Connor Brophy. Alice Burnett. Samuel Clark Worry. Catherine Cooper. Jamie Davidson. Danielle Devine. Stephanie Din. Ismail Jemma. Also awarded the Geography Prize for Best Overall Performance on an undergraduate degree course and for having achieved the highest result overall in global studies, Emma Drew. Matthew Fleming. Alexandra Fouquet. Leah Harris. Sarah Harvey. Josephine Horcroft Jensen. Nicole Heath. Lauren Hunter. Zoe Jackson. Miles Knight. Natalie Tinquan. Catherine Laxton. Vincent Luckmore. Fraser Martin. Alexander Mason. Francesca Nally. Samuel Nicholson. Ella O'Keefe. Yasmin Ozen. Laura Pellegrino. Jordan Powell. Ellis Rickard. Hannah Stannard. Holly Sullivan. Harry Thomason. Nicholas Waldron. Elizabeth Withall. Charles Wood. For Geography and Anthropology, Leanne Peach. For Geography and International Development, Lindsay Ellis. Eliana Harrigan. Louisa Kershaw. Zoe Killingbeck. Carmel Leek. Kudzai Mokopa. Neelam Rai. Tesney Woodfall. For Geography and International Relations, Thomas Takizoe. For International Development, Rosie Anstead. Sophie Anthony. Eleanor Balchin. Emily Brown. Sophie Davis. Jane Dobrin. Miho Fujita. Also awarded the Pramit Chowdhury Prize for the best performance in international development, Hannah Gray. Lucy Gray. Matthew Griffin. Sarah Gulzar. Gemma Harvey. Alexandra Kemp. Sumitra Krishnamurti Reddyar. Katie Matthews. Rosanna May. Georgina Murray. Kirtijai Pahari. Alice Vincent. Alice Woodland. Ayla Zaidi. For international development with French, Andrew Chapman. For international development with Spanish, Claire Fuller. Johanna Lehner. Yasmin Payani. Samantha Seymour. For international relations, Hugo Alaimo. Katerina Bakulina. Nicholas Barlow. Samuel Brown. Brynhild Carlson. Cello David. Genevieve Ezefeka. Hannah Godfrey. Florence Hallock-Wolf. Anissa Harassi. John Hesselwood. Rosalia Klimova-Muginova. Alexander Costadino. Hei Shun Lao. Yi Wing Lo. Joshua Littlefair. Sarah McKyle. Benjamin Martin. Amy McCallum. Mia McLaughlin. Jihan Aitak Nalbantoglu. Chuman. Hompuiden. Andrea Ogagea. Rabat Prakash. Oliver Rock. Kiara Ronga. Carla Rovaris. Anna Rufusova. Giles Smith. Azan Saim. Jonathan Tucker. Ninako Ochiki. Si Long Wan. Claire Wen. Noor Zanati Arabi. For International Relations and Anthropology, Saskia Antonello Mercado. Ilan Steinfeld. For International Relations and Development, Nina Asen. Anne Akintola. Samantha Alderman. Clara Badenes Torres. Alexandra Bangboye. Freya Buck-Emden. Yasmin Centeno. Choi Yi Chang. Christy Davidson Stern. Rachel Dixon. Carmen Heranz-Carr. Aziz Ibrahim. Zainab Kirbas. Rosalind Lytham. Kai Chun Mak. Latoya Richardson. Alison Shutt. Cecilia Valeri. Chun Long Young. For International Relations and French, Connor Mackenzie. Sophia Flaherty. For International Relations and German, Emily Chittock. For International Relations in Italian, Lucy Wood. For International Relations and Languages, French and German, Marina Azacarte Rodriguez. For International Relations with Languages, French and Italian, Elisa Musio. For International Relations and Languages, French and Spanish, Beatrice Gallo. Mattia Rapper. Hermann Seidel. Jessica Thompson. Tessa Wolfer. Joanna Zaharieva. For International Relations and Sociology, Declan Bennett. Sin Chang. Jack Tomlinson. For International Relations and Spanish, Harriet Barham. Mathilde Carlier. Sally Evans. Benny Gamsu. Isabella Mulholland. For Politics and International Relations, On Chan. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Geography, Mark Allen. Hannah Atkins. Hope Beattie. Samuel Bradshaw. Christian Dalton. Claire Doyle. James Fulbrook. James Gleeson. Bronte Goodwin. Grace Gosling. Natalie Haynes. Olivia Harris. William Hoskin. Alexandra Knowles. Duncan Maguire. Also awarded the BSc Geography Thesis Prize for the best undergraduate thesis demonstrating excellence in the field of individual and original empirical research in physical geography. James Mallion. Eloise O'Dwyer. Ellen Osborne. Olivia Parrish. Georgina Richardson. Adam Roy. Katie Sylvester. Joe Smith. Jonathan Souter. Jack Stancombe. Ryan Stevenson. Benjamin Thompsett. Freya Whitaker. For the degree of Master of Arts in Conflict, Security and Development, Elenia Di Marino. For Environment, Development and Policy, Samantha Suchi-Schmitter. Chancellor, I will now present to you for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy for the thesis, The World Bank and the Origins of the Washington Consensus, Negotiating the Imperatives of American Finance, Samuel Appleton. For the thesis, Carving Out Niches, Informality, Work and Migration in a Muslim Craft Community of North India, Thomas Chambers. For the thesis, Industrialization and the Working Class, the Contested Trajectories of ISI in Chile and Argentina, Adam Fishwick. Well done. For the thesis, Another War, Stories of Violence, Humanitarianism and Human Rights amongst Congolese refugees in Uganda, Katie McQuaid. For the thesis, The Renovation of Western Hegemony, European Alternatives in International Relations, George Moody. Well done. Brilliant. Chancellor, this concludes the list of graduates from the School of Global Studies.
I call upon Professor Andrea Cornwall, Head of the School of Global Studies, to present Professor Techua Manu.
Chancellor, the struggle for justice for all is close to the hearts of the students and staff in the School of Global Studies, the Institute of Development Studies, and the wider community of the University of Sussex. Our desire to change the world rather than just understand it makes us distinctive as a university. Professor Techua Manu, scholar, activist, lawyer, and anthropologist, has made significant contributions to that struggle. In her home country of Ghana, in her work at the Economic Commission for Africa, where she currently serves as the Director of the Social Development Policy Programme, as part of national and networks and in global policy spaces, through her advisory work with various UN agencies, the International Network of Migration and others. Like many of our students today, whose successes we proudly celebrate, Techua's interest in issues of rights, justice and development was inspired by growing up witnessing injustice and inequality around her. Those were the days of apartheid South Africa and the Vietnam War, a time when women were considered in law as category of persons under disability rather than equal citizens with equal rights. Tues' parents had little access to education, yet their passionate belief in her and their encouragement was a vital factor in her success. Critical thinking was prized at her school, Wesley Girls High School in Cape Coast. Tues speaks of how her introduction to radical ideas in the classroom nurtured a deep passion for justice, women's liberation, and a commitment to Africa. Tues had first wanted to be a doctor, but her keen sense of justice took her in the direction of law. She took a degree in law at the University of Ghana from 1971 to 76 and was called to the bar. She then applied for a master's at the University of Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. She recalls how her dean, an erstwhile Pan-Africanist, commented on how funny it was that when all her classmates were applying to go to the US, she had chosen Tanzania. Her answer? Oh, I'm sure I have several opportunities to go to America. And she did. What she found in Tanzania was an incredibly vibrant, exciting intellectual and political environment. Tanzania was the headquarters at that time of the Organization of African Unity Liberation Committee. Its leaders avowed Pan-Africanists. On the campus in Dar, she mingled with Africa's revolutionaries, the ANC in exile, ZANU, ZAPU, Frelimo, the MPLA, and SWAPO. Returning to Ghana, she took up a post at the Institute of African Studies, where many years later she'd come to serve as the first female director. The Institute was established to address issues of history, identity, culture, and continental self-recovery as part of the process of rewriting Africa back into the history that it had been denied and the agencies of Africans as the makers of their own history. Tues' research took a new direction, one that would later prove foundational for her work. Using her legal training as a plank, she began exploring women's citizenship and their relationship with the state, focusing first on the colonial state, then the militarized state, then structural adjustment in the neoliberalizing state, and most recently on legislative change, domestic violence, and women's political participation in contemporary Ghana. In 1992, Tues took her interest in culture, gender, and power further and studied for a PhD in anthropology at Indiana University. There she became interested in questions of migration. She returned to Ghana, taking up the directorship of the IAS from 2002 to 2009, fostering the establishment of the Center for Gender Studies and Advocacy at the University of Ghana, and engaging actively in policy processes on gender, migration, and violence against women. Tues is a passionate advocate for an African studies that is, as she's written, rooted in a mastery of African contexts and experiences, that engages in comparative work to generate theories that explain Africa first and foremost to its own peoples. An agenda that's been important for the University of Sussex with our long tradition of solidarity and intellectual exchange with African activists and scholars in the post-independence era, and now with our own Africa Centre. Chancellor, I present to you for the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, Professor Tues Menu.
By the authority of the Senate and the University Council, I confer upon you the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. Many congratulations. Thank you.
Chancellor of the University of Sussex, Lady Mayor of Brighton and Hove, the Vice Chancellor, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Pro-Vice Chancellors, members of convocation, graduates, parents, members of my family and friends who are here, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I have been delighted and honored to join you all at this graduation ceremony this morning here at the University of Sussex. And I'm truly humbled by the honor just done me by the university in conferring upon me an honorary Doctor of Laws degree in recognition of my contributions to the fields of law, gender, and politics. Distinguished guests, inevitably on occasions such as this, one calls to mind the different individuals and groups who have contributed to one's progress over the years. Family members, teachers, mentors, colleagues and friends, and one's networks, both professional and social, and to thank them for their support, encouragement, and belief in one's abilities to succeed. In particular, I would like to thank my late parents, one self-educated, the one unlettered, but both utterly committed to educating all their many children, female and male. I recall my mother rebuffing her father, himself an educated man, who complained about the seemingly never-ending levels of education that some of us lawyers were entering. What would marriage do for them, she parried. I also recall my father's pride as I left to pursue graduate education in Tanzania, and the support my parents offered me when I left my young children behind after I became a single parent to go first to the United States and then to Colombia on a United Nations University Fellowship. How I wish they could be here with us today to watch me receive this honor and to swell with pride. Ladies and gentlemen, in the part of the world where I was born, it was not at all a certainty some 50-odd years ago when I attained school-going age that I would actually be enrolled in school or remain in school and progress all the way to tertiary education and beyond. It is a testament to the progress that has occurred almost everywhere now that the right of girls to an education, skills, and training is almost uncontested and actually promoted, as we saw with the Millennium Development Goals that are now ending and reiterated in the successor and more ambitious Sustainable Development Goals that are set to come into place later this year. But it is not only in the area of girls' education and women's rights that some progress has occurred, but also in the general area of politics in Africa. There is now a general commitment to democratization and the rule of law, to the extent that even autocratic governments which wish to remain in power want the veneer of democracy and try to extend their rule through elections, however stacked these may be. And Africa has largely moved beyond the basket case scenario described by the Economist magazine some years ago. It is now recognized that several African countries are among the fastest growing economies in the world. However, the challenge remains of translating these impressive growth rates into decent jobs and skills for the teeming populations of young people, of bridging the rising inequalities, and stemming the tide of some of the desperate migrations that we see and read about in the news almost every day. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all these issues and more are currently being discussed at the 3rd International Conference on Financing for Development that opened yesterday in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, the city where I now live and work. That conference has gathered over 7,000 delegates to deliberate on actions, strategies, and commitments for financing sustainable development, protecting the environment, and promoting social inclusion for a fairer and more just world. But I'm happier to be here with you all this week than in the conference with the heads of state and all the important personalities. Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I cannot end my short address without mentioning what the University of Sussex has meant to me over the years. Sussex calls to my mind high teas, scones, clotted cream, strawberry jam and tea, fish dinners, stimulating intellectual discussions with friends and colleagues, social justice and internationalism. I recall in particular Anne Whitehead and her many years of fieldwork in Ghana and the work of Kate Young and her colleagues. The IDS was one of the places I visited with British Council sponsorship as we were planning to establish our Women's Studies program at the University of Ghana in the late 1980s. And more recently, the IDS was the location for our Pathways of Women's Empowerment Research Project Consortium that grouped colleagues from Latin America, the Middle East, Asia, Europe, and Africa under the leadership of Andrea Cornwall, that has done exciting and comparative work on so many aspects of women's lives on our respective continents. The findings about the necessary and contingent conditions for women's empowerment, including both the agency of women themselves and their movements, as well as the policy actions and resources that states need to commit, remain to be taken up, particularly in the post-2015 agenda. Finally, I turn to you, graduates of today. You are entering a fast-changing and turbulent world. There are several uncertainties and challenges, and you can take nothing for granted. But the world you are entering has also experienced significant progress, including in the areas I've described today. So graduates and graduates, this is what I want for you, that today you will use the technology available to you to post selfies of yourselves and your family and friends who have helped you achieve this milestone, and some of you have done it already. That throughout your lives, technology can help you to engage with the world and build on the progress I've described today in women's rights, the rule of law, and democracy. That you continue to learn and seek knowledge after you leave Sussex, and that you take what you have learned here and what you will learn since to make a difference. Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, distinguished guests, thank you all once again for the honor done me, and I look forward to my new association and status with the University of Sussex. Thank you.
Call upon Professor Melissa Leach, Director of the Institute of Development Studies.
Chancellor, I present to you, for the degree of Master of Arts in Development Studies, Merryn Johnston. Chancellor, I present to you, for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, for the thesis Structural Power and the Political Sources of Central Bank Policy in Developing Countries, Florence Daffy. For the thesis Ways of Knowing of Farmers and Scientists, Tree and Soil Management in the Ethiopian Highlands, Birgit Habermann. Chancellor, this concludes the list of graduands from the Institute of Development Studies.
Chancellor, I present to you a graduand who was unable to graduate earlier with her School of Study. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in International Relations and Sociology, Lin Fan. Chancellor, this is where you take a moment or two just to consider whether you think you've had sufficient nerve during the ceremony to award these degrees. Don't rush, don't rush.
Yeah.
Chancellor, you have now met all the graduands being presented to you at this ceremony, and the moment has come for the formal conferral of degrees of the University of Sussex. I therefore ask you to confer their degrees on those presented to you and to the other graduands who have indicated their wish to graduate in absentia at this ceremony.
I formally confer degrees on all those mentioned by the Vice-Chancellor. Congratulations, you've done it. Well, that was all right, wasn't it? It's all pretty good. Congratulations, everyone, including our honoris causa as well. Thank you for your inspiring messages, but also inspiring choices that you've made as well. And I'm particularly inspired by having the words social justice and cream tea in the same sentence. I think that's the way forward, personally. Well done, family and friends. Some of you were truly embarrassing. Respect. So, graduates, as your time here at Sussex draws to a close, we hope that you will keep us in your hearts and thoughts, and will remain connected to us as alumni, and perhaps as guides and fonts of knowledge of your experience for future graduates at the university. There are those present here today that have been associated with your success that look forward to these days with huge fondness as well. So please show your appreciation for your teachers, tutors, and staff. Whether your next step is gainful employment, the search for it, further academic study, or just some time out, I wish you all the very best. In closing the ceremony, the Chancellor of a university is supposed to say something inspiring or impart some wisdom. Since the word wisdom and I are only connected by the word tooth, I am sorely underqualified to provide you with any, but I'll chuck a few observations your way. Some of them are mine, and the really good ones are stolen from elsewhere. You can do whatever you like with them. Something that has been alluded to, but none of us can be unaware of, how much strife there seems to be around the world at this moment, whether it's ideological, financial, whatever. But it always causes great divisiveness. And it can be pretty depressing. You can turn on the news and it just seems everyone's at each other's throats. But I saw a wonderful tweet, actually not that long ago, ascribing the following. This is by Mr. Fred Rogers, an American educator who had a kids show on American TV for about 30 years. And he said, "When I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, 'Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping.' And to this day, especially in times of disaster, I remember my mother's words, and I'm always comforted by realizing that there are still so many helpers, so many caring people in the world." All of you graduates here today, by coming to this place of learning, and hopefully a bit of fun, are the shining example to me of how the world can be. Differences can be respected, altercations can be settled through discourse, and disagreement doesn't need to be interpreted as an attack on your very soul. My mother used to say to me when I was a kid, an insult only becomes an insult once you have chosen to accept it as an insult. You stupid, talentless sack of... She didn't really say... Obviously, she didn't say the last bit. Obviously. But your time here at Sussex for me is the best illustration that the human race, if it were a race, can only be one together. There's also that thing that sits in front of us every day, which becomes quite prominent at times like this, I think, which many people regard with great fear, the future. You hear a lot of, think of the future. What about the future? You've got to plan for the future. And actually, there's nothing wrong with any of that, unless it leads to a fear of the future. Because a fear of the future just leads to a paralysis of the present. A fear is, we all agree, is unknown, and we can all agree that it's unpredictable because it hasn't been written. You write it. In my own experience, when I was 30, I was in debt, and I'd sued my then employers for breach of contract, so I was involved in litigation as well. I couldn't get any kind of work for about 2 years because of that. So I was 30, and it was just awful. I just thought, well, I'm staring into an abyss of some kind. And by 33, I'd changed careers and was, to my utter shock, in an award-winning TV show and embarking on the most fantastical life and career. And my point, it was unpredictable. I couldn't have seen it in the depths of the bleakness. I couldn't have seen that. And it was positive. And going back further, I mean, some of you may well know this, but Sussex was my first choice when I was applying for universities. I didn't get in. Apparently, my grades weren't good enough. So I waited. I took my business elsewhere. And I waited till all those who were responsible for me not getting in had either retired, been deported, were in prison, or had just become plain dead, and I got back in as Chancellor. My point being... Thanks. My point being, it's unpredictable. I could not, in the depths of my despondency at not getting into Sussex, could have ever envisaged this situation. So when I look back at my 20s, or even my teens, I suppose, I no longer now see a period of abject failure as I did then. I see now there was an unconscious gathering of experiences that have enabled me to make better informed decisions. I see an education in life matters and relationships that have highlighted to me the value of friendships and the importance of choosing, who I choose to surround myself with. I now surround myself with as many successful people as I can. And don't mean money. Not money, because, I've not had money, and I've had money, and I know the same with other people. And also, I've met enough people with money that are thoroughly uninspiring and that I despise. So I don't mean money. I mean, the successful ones to me are the ones who've worked out a way to express consistently their compassion and humanity, no matter what situation they find themselves in. And they're the ones that I find inspiring. As Maya Angelou, great American poet, once said, people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. People will never forget the way you made them feel. And through that, I now realize that I was never the loser I thought I was back then, or indeed, as other people told me I was back then. I was success in waiting. I just didn't know it. So through that as well, I've learned not to define myself by a bad day, a bad week, a bad month, a bad year. I had a bad decade once, but I came out of it. I totally believe that we are always, always defined by what we do next. We are the sum total of our decisions. And since we are all creative, we can therefore create a better self every day, every minute, and every second. So don't skimp on your dreams. Einstein once said, logic can take you from A to B, but your imagination can take you anywhere. Talking of imagination, it just reminds me of a really lovely story that I like. It's a little girl who was in class and she was drawing. And the teacher came over and said, what are you drawing? And she said, I'm drawing God. And the teacher said, well, that's really interesting because nobody knows what God looks like. And the little girl said, they will in a minute. It's... Dream big. Make mistakes by all means, but do try and make new ones every time. A person who keeps making the same mistake over and over is quite frankly an idiot. And be generous about other people's mistakes. You know, that somebody might have the solution to a really vital problem that could change your life or change the world, and they might be wrong about every other thing. So hear them out. Have the courage of your convictions, which to me means have the courage to have your convictions tested. Invite people to pull them apart, take them to pieces so you can know them better. And if someone puts forward an argument that reveals your conviction to be incomplete, alter your conviction, adapt. It won't be the defeat of your conviction, it'll be the evolution of it. One of my favorite stories as well, this is from a film actually, is about two mice that fell into a bowl of cream and couldn't get out. And one mouse decided that we're never going to get out of this and just gave up and drowned. And the other mouse struggled and struggled and thrashed about and struggled and thrashed and until he'd churned all the cream into butter and then just stepped out of the bowl. Sometimes the struggle is the solution. So that's what you have to kind of go with. I'll leave you with some quotes, none of which are mine, obviously. I've been quoting myself all along. Winston Churchill said, if you find yourself in hell, keep going, keep moving forward. Alexander Graham Bell, who said, when one door closes, another door opens, but we look so often and so long and so regretfully upon the closed door that we do not see the ones that open for us. So it's about looking forwards, I think. And finally, from Charles M. Schulz, who created the Peanuts cartoon, who said, stop worrying about the world ending today. It's already tomorrow in Australia. So, my friends, yesterday is for archivists, tomorrow is for fortune tellers, but today belongs to you. We can only build a fabulous tomorrow on the foundations of a great today. And thank you, really thank you, for the honor of allowing me to be a small part of your great today. Be creative, dream big, be kind, and never, ever give up. I wish you all happiness and good fortune in everything you do. I officially declare this graduation closed.